Chicago Bears news as the Bears take on the Vikings tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. I've been watching football all day today, and I wanted to comment on a couple of stories that are circulating around, as well as give one final Bears injury update, as Kyler Gordon has been added to the injury report and is listed as questionable. Bad news for the Bears is our starting nickel corner, Kyler Gordon, is one of the best players in our secondary. And he's also a guy that I expect big things from this season. He's been added to the report late, and he's listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. Hamstring injuries do tend to linger on, so this is not great news. Kyler did practice all week after missing some time early in camp, but his status for tomorrow night's game is now in question. This is simply not good news for the Bears, who will already be without TJ Edwards, and number one cornerback Jalen Johnson is listed as questionable. Not having Kyler Gordon would be a huge loss for this secondary, and with him being added to the report this late, I'd say it's probably less than 50-50 that he plays. It will depend on how he feels in the pregame warmups. Definitely something to keep an eye on, but I want to talk about a couple of other things around the NFL. But first, let's thank Profit X for sponsoring today's video. America's #1 sports prediction market, where you will always get better odds than sports books. This week, I'm a big fan of the Bears money line and the reception props of Rome Odunze and Colston Loveland. Use promo code SWIFT and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. Terms and conditions do apply. One big story that has been circulating, and I will talk more about it at some point, but Tyler Dunn wrote an article about Caleb Williams that can only be described as a hit piece. And honestly, the timing is terrible. Right before the season starts, honestly, it's ridiculous how the media is so against Caleb Williams. The narratives and stories going around right now are just out of control. I like to remind fans of a quote from Mike Tomlin that came out last year in reference to some of the assistant coaches around the NFL. He talked about how there are a lot of coaches out there that simply resist the responsibility of coaching players. Coaches get paid so much because these players need development. And there are too many coaches in this league that simply run away from coaching. Those were Mike Tomlin's words, and he said he runs to it. He knows that players need to be developed, and he embraces that responsibility. The unnamed sources and coaches that were quoted in the article are coaches that will never be big names, guys who will never be head coaches and simply do not have the talent or upside of a guy like Caleb Williams. And some people like this to decide to try to tear down people that are better than them. They decide to make a name for themselves by tearing down other players. In all honesty, I will address this more when I have time, but I see most of it as simply ridiculous. However, there are some things said about both Caleb Williams and Ryan Poles that I do want to talk about in the future. But I did want to let you guys know why I haven't talked about it yet. In other news around the NFL today, Justin Fields had an awesome game for the Jets today, although they did lose the game, and the Dolphins, a team who complained that the Bears were too physical in joint practices, opened up the season by getting blown out by the Colts and Indy. Maybe the Dolphins should have been more physical themselves. They allowed the Colts to score on the first 7 drives of the game, something they hadn't done since Peyton Manning retired. But the NFL is back. I'm loving the action going on around the league today, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. As always, I appreciate everyone who watches. Remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.